So some dipshit, some moron, some guy with the mental capacity of a 2-year-old put out a tweet saying this week on She-Hulk, she rapes a dude. Now we are going to go into spoilers for She-Hulk episode 4. Now, first of all, before we get into everything else, I do want to say I've not liked the first 3 episodes of She-Hulk. I think they're flawed. I think the comedy was not very good. The trailers promised to be something funny. It just felt like a lot of the jokes landed flat. I particularly didn't like the line where Jennifer Walters in first episode it went viral, where Jennifer Walters was what was it that she said? She said something like, "I my life is much harder than you, Bruce, because I've been catcalled. I've been demeaned by men and all that." And look, that is bad. That is a lot of things women do have to go through. A lot of guys don't understand female issues, which, by the way, I also think vice versa. A lot of females understand male issues. I talk about both ways. I tend to talk more to my younger men out there because, of course, I've been a younger man in my life. I mean, I am a young man. So I do try to conversate about those kinds of things. But it is true what you said. However, I just thought it was poorly executed because it kind of felt like it was on the nose. I'm fine with movies and shows having political messages. It's just you can't just have it like you can't just random. It's like imagine you're watching Jaws and then all of a sudden they say, "Well, Trump is a horrible president." It's like it'd be random. And not only that, but she was saying it to a character who has tried committing suicide, who's depressed, who's been on the run from the government for over a decade, who literally lost 2 years of his entire life on a completely different planet because of the Hulk. It felt. I just thought the scene was a little stupid. I can understand what they were trying to do, but it ultimately fell flat. I get like the premise was understandable, the execution was horrible, but this is apparently Healy versus Bayfield. Now I don't like talking about YouTubers. I haven't done it in a while. In fact, I'm not even gonna give him the benefit of doubt and putting him on the title. I'm just gonna make this video. But this guy's a known anti-woke, anti-MeToo person. He often makes movies. I mean, not movies. He often makes videos complaining about minorities, women, and anyone who really isn't a straight white man. Now, I've not watched many of his videos, but when I see his titles and thumbnails, that's what it comes off as. So the guy is against feminism. He's against all that. And look, I'll agree on some things. A lot of feminists on social media, specifically, at least the extreme feminists, tend to ruin it for all feminists. Like I think, like for example, when there was a hashtag kill all men, that was horrible. I get it was a joke, but it was still, if you want people on your side, you can't just diminish an entire side. Not only that, but I also think a lot of women don't understand male issues. Sure, I don't think it's as bad as female issues. Like men don't understand female issues, but I also think it works vice versa. And anytime I say that, it's controversial. When really it's not. I just think that two genders have worked completely different for centuries, and I just think there are certain things that people need to start having conversations about, because one problem I have is a lot of people on social media pretend to virtue signal. They'll pretend to care about social topics, but anytime you try to conversate with them and you slightly disagree with them, they'll quickly call you racist, sexist, and all that, and that just comes out as virtue signaling. A couple of days ago, not a couple of days, last week actually, I made a video talking about the Euphoria cast being canceled, and one of them was Hunter Schafer, a trans woman who liked a tweet that was saying that non-binary people are affecting the rights of trans people. And I had some people say, "Oh, you can't talk about this because you're not the LGBTQ plus. Oh, you're just cis. It doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. You shouldn't diminish an entire group of people." But I said, no, no, no. This is an actual trans woman talking about a trans topic, and a lot of you guys lie about caring about trans people, but the minute they contradict something you think, it's like you just isolate them. It's the thing that pisses me off. But at the same time, I also think people like Healy versus Face, Geeks and Gamers, and all this, they're quick to call things woke and SJW, but they never go into details. And the minute you call them racist, they can't really provide you any proof besides, "Oh, I have a black friend." Okay, I don't care. If your black friend is just there to be your black friend, then I think that's a lot more sus. But I don't know. I'm getting a little more into it. But anyways, Healy vs. Baby says this week on She-Hulk, she rapes a dude. Now I'm going to provide some context. Now this will be spoilers. So I can't pull up the episode because Disney Plus is sensitive, but I'll just pull up this image from the trailer, which we've known was going to happen. So there's a scene where Jennifer is going on dates on, well, what's supposed to be Tinder, but I guess they didn't have the sponsorship for Tinder. So what did they call it? They called it Matcher, I believe. They called it Matcher. And when she uses a profile as Jennifer, she only matches with 2 dates, or I think no, just 1 date. And the date went horrible. Like the guy clearly didn't seem interested. In fact, he even left before the bill was paid. By the way, we should talk a lot more about that because, there's this stigma that men should pay the bill on a date, whether it's a first date, second date, whatever. It's like, hey, man, if we're talking about manliness, then that guy probably ain't a real man, according to a lot of people's logics. But although I'll say on the first date, I'll say this right now, on popular opinion, I think the stigma should be that people just pay for what they bought. Unless like one person's like, hey, you know what, I'll pay for your meal. I honestly think that. But no, I actually do believe that it should be, whatever you paid for, you pay for it. Whatever that person paid for, that person pays for it. Kind of separate checks. I don't get the half and half thing because sometimes some people order more than, like, imagine you order like 2 meals and the other person one meal. It's like that person's gonna pay for half of what you paid for, even though they didn't even get. I don't know. I don't know. I'm derailing the conversation. Let's get back on track. So, in eventually, she doesn't get any matches as Jennifer Walters, which, by the way, that's very unrealistic because let's not deny it. If you're a woman, no matter how unattractive you are, you're gonna get a lot of matches on online dating apps because let's not deny it, men are very desperate. Not only that, but there's a lot of fat like incel, like nerd, or not incel, but fat nerds who are looking for love, and they'll literally go below like the lowest low of the standards. I don't know. So I just felt it a little surprising to Jennifer Walters, who's in decent shape, who pretty attractive, didn't get any dates. But anyways, she eventually instead creates a dating profile as She-Hulk, and she gets multiple matches, and it shows a montage of different dates. The first one being like a really buff dude who wait, what was it? What was it? Because she's seeing like she's not compatible with any of them. And it's like a couple of them, but I think the first guy, what was? Oh, I honestly don't remember what it was. The first one, but eventually you get to this guy who's in really good shape. He's very attractive, but he's also very respectful. Like the thing that you notice is in the dates, the guys talk about themselves, while this guy is like, hey, I don't want to talk about myself. Let's talk about you, and all that. And She-Hulk is falling for him. So much so to where she invites him to her home on the first date. By the way, that's a green light, meaning that something's working. But so we get into the scene, and then after that, Wong opens a portal, and oh no, before that, so he takes off his shirt. You can see him in the tank top because he got something on his shirt. Now this wasn't She-Hulk's fault. This wasn't Jennifer's fault. He spilled something, and he immediately took off his shirt. I will say this is the one thing I'll kind of agree. The thing I find creepy about that scene was that She-Hulk grabbed his shirt and smelled it. This kind of reminds, it's not into the level of that, but it kind of reminds me of the scene in Peacemaker where Peacemaker's having sex with one of the butterflies. Oh, wow. I never thought I'd say that in context, but he grabs, I think she's dead, and so he grabs her panties and like sniffs them real quick, but he does it like a hard sniff, like he's making sure every smell counts. That's kind of what it felt like. I'm saying this, I'm probably, this video is probably gonna get demonetized, so y'all smash the like button, subscribe, do whatever you can. But anyways, in that scene, then after that, he comes back. He's only wearing a tank top, and again, you can tell he's clearly a well-built man. He clearly works out. Then Wong's opens a portal because he needs help fighting these little goblin things, and then she comes back, but immediately falls on top of the guy. And by that, I mean like in a position where they're about to have intercourse. They kind of was there any dialogue exchanged? I think what just happens is they kind of make like faces at each other, like, oh. And then eventually, She-Hulk picks up the guy. The guy clearly seems into it. And then we flash forward to the morning. They're implying that they had intercourse. Now, Healy versus Babyface, let's not deny it, he's virtue signaling right here. He doesn't care about rape. He's just saying this because he hates feminism. He hates the MeToo movement. Which, by the way, the Me Too movement has also gone to a point. What is the good thing about the Me Too movement is now a lot of women can come out, because there was a time, and still to this day, trust me, a lot of you guys don't want to have this conversation, but a lot of women have been raped, and a lot of them don't come forward because to them it's difficult, especially because how do you prove you got raped? Unless you have like footage, unless I guess a bank statement proving that you paid on this date, you really don't have much proof, so it's kind of difficult to go to court proving that you got raped. And the Me Too movement has done some good. Now, the Me Too movement has also done bad because there's been a lot of false allegations. I think that's something a lot of feminists need to start having a discussion on, because the women, and also men sometimes, I've not seen many occasions on this, but usually women, a lot of the women that make false allegations do diminish actual real rape victims. And it's something I feel very passionate about. I feel very passionate about the fact that people are willing to lie about such a serious thing just for extra cash, extra whatever. And it pisses me off because then you diminish the real women who are actually getting raped, who are actually getting sexually assaulted. Amber Heard's an example. Amber Heard, now when people want to say, oh, this person did get sexually assaulted, they're going to use Amber Heard as proof to say, because Amber Heard did go out of her way to say that Johnny Depp ruined her life. Johnny Depp abused her. Amber Heard's proof of that, because now I've actually seen people use Amber Heard as proof of being like, look, feminism is bad because the false allegations to this people and all that. That is true. There are false allegations, but that doesn't diminish the fact that there's actual sexual assault going around the world, and a lot of women feel uncomfortable ever coming out. I mean, how long did it take for Harvey Weinstein to get exposed? How long did it take for R. Kelly to get exposed? How long did it get for Bill Cosby to get exposed? It's taken so long, and yet a lot of people still believe, oh, it's only women that lie about the allegations. No, there's far more sexual assault going than lies about it, and that's just facts. And a lot of women feel fear coming out, and same thing with men. There's a lot of men who may have been sexually assaulted. I'm actually somebody who's very big on, we need to stop sexualizing male bodies too much, because you notice that, like, a man takes off his shirt and it's like this big, like, oh, haha. It's like, if we're talking about women not being sexually, like, what was the word I was saying? We use women, like, women are like, okay, we don't want to be objectified anymore. Okay, let's do it for men too, because I don't think anyone should really be objectified. Although I'm fine with movies having attractive characters take off their shirts or whatever. But, like, for example, in Taika Waititi, I'm sorry if I'm getting a lot off topic, but Taika Waititi, I remember he was trying to justify why Chris Hemsworth was naked in Thor: Love and Thunder, and his excuse was, oh, Chris Hemsworth has a very attractive body, and he should be able to show that to the world. I'm like, yeah, imagine if he said that about a woman. You would have definitely gotten canceled. Like, that would be a little sus, But no, Healy versus Babyface clearly doesn't care about rape. I guarantee you, if the scene was that the guy raped Jennifer Walters, I guarantee you Healy versus Babyface wouldn't have cared. I guarantee you that. But because he's very big on anti-feminism, anti-MeToo, he virtue signals to his audience saying, look, guys, She-Hulk is a rapist. By the way, it's not rape. I'm sorry. If you actually watch the scene, you can clearly tell they were both consenting. You can clearly tell that the guy was really into her. There clearly was not rape. That was clearly not sexual assault. And I know some people are using the example of Wonder Woman 84. That's different. That is rape right there. I would actually say that right there is, because Diana was having sex with Steve Trevor, but it wasn't Steve Trevor's body. It was the body of another man who was unconscious. And yeah, I guess that does count as rape, that right there. But the She-Hulk thing, no. You can clearly... now, I can't pull up the scene. I can only pull up this image from the trailer. You can tell they were both consenting. You could tell he was happy with it. You could tell he liked it. You could tell he's very attracted to She-Hulk. That's it. And then, what was it? Somebody called it deception rape. What was it? Where was it? Okay, so, where was it? There was a tweet. There's a tweet saying something. So after they had sex, you don't see it happen, but obviously it's implied. Unless you're like a little 5-year-old, you're probably not gonna get what they just did. But after that, you see Jennifer Walters just transforms to her normal self. You see her wearing an overly long shirt, and she assumes, oh, he's gonna be happy. He was a really nice guy. He clearly cared about what she thought. But the guy isn't that way. He's kind of like, oh, that's what you look like? And then walks out immediately, which I'm a little surprised, because Jennifer Walters is a pretty attractive woman, so I'm a little surprised on that. But at the same, ignore that. But I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is deception. This is catfishing." Well, first of all, he had sex with She-Hulk, not Jennifer. Jennifer's inside She-Hulk, but no, he still had sex with She-Hulk, the body of She-Hulk. That's not right. He wasn't catfished, and not only that, but I'll say this is more of the fault of Marvel itself rather than the audience. But in the episode, they make it out to seem like the guy didn't know that that's what she looked like, which is surprising, because from the beginning, she doesn't have a secret identity. It's not like people are like, oh, there's a She-Hulk going around. Who is it? No, from the very beginning, you established that Jennifer Walters is She-Hulk. And some people were saying that's catfishing. Well, no, it's not catfishing, because he still got to have sex with She-Hulk. He didn't have sex with Jennifer Walters. He just saw her after. Now, by the way, I'll say this. I know some feminists are going to say, oh, how could she's objectifying her because she only wanted the big, tall model woman instead of the small, little, fragile woman. No, I think it's understandable that he doesn't like Jennifer Walters because at the end of the day, the date was with She-Hulk. And I see a lot of people still saying it's catfishing. It's not catfishing because that she still had intercourse with She-Hulk. But at the same time, I'm going to see some people saying, oh, he's shallow because he didn't want Jennifer. Instead, he only wanted She-Hulk. No, it's not. At the same time, you're there for the person on Tinder. He got the person. Move on there. I guess it's just a one night stand for him. But no, I think the thing that pisses me off is that Healy versus Babyface is doing exactly what he's against. He's so against virtue signaling. He's so against people who pretend to care about social topics, but yet he's doing it right now. That's the thing that really annoys me. There's real people getting raped out there, and this is what you do. You start saying this bullshit, which clearly it's not. It's so freaking stupid. Let's actually read some tweets. Miss April says, for real, or in an 80s action movie sense where the protagonist knows the love interest wants it and it's seen as okay. I like the same standards for men and women. That's why I get attacked by both sides. I wouldn't put it past them. Worse though. Yeah, okay. I'm using MeToo rules of engagement. He gives no consent. She pins him, then picks him up and takes him. But you can tell by the facial movement. Oh my God. We need to start having this fucking conversation. When it comes to a date, whether it's your boyfriend, whether it's a first date, whatever it is, when you're about to have intercourse, you should always look at how their face, because the face says more than words. But the same, like if the guy was to say no, then there we would be having a different conversation. But clearly, if you look at the episode, the guy clearly was excited from the beginning to be with Shield, clearly was into her. And he wasn't refusing. He wasn't doing anything to stop. Now, yes, She-Hulk is a giant freaking green monster. But at the same time, even his face, he seemed excited. He seemed ecstatic. You know? This is so stupid. And in an 80s movie, yeah, there are moments like that. Like, let's not deny it. There are moments where, I don't know. I guess it's just based on, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. This is annoying because these are people who are pretending to care about rape. Let's just talk about the scene specifically. In this scene, the guy clearly seemed excited. He clearly seemed happy. He didn't, I don't know what to tell you. And even after, his disappointment was if he really was assaulted or if he really was raped, like people claim, I feel like he would have looked a lot more traumatized, a lot more exhausted, a lot more disappointed. But instead, when you see the scene, he's more disappointed that it's just Jennifer Walters. You know? I don't even think he's upset he got catfished. I think he's just upset that she still uses the persona. I think he's still more upset that she uses the persona of Jennifer Walters. I think what he assumed was that she was full-time She-Hulk. And I guess at that moment he was like, hey, if we're going to be in a relationship, I prefer you be She-Hulk. I don't know, this is annoying. Millie says, I can't even tell if you're joking or not. No, he's not joking. What the thing is, he's trying to virtue signal and he's trying to pretend like he cares about this topic, but just for engagement. But yeah. If you watch the She-Hulk review, all will become clear. Basically, if a man did what she did to me, to a woman, MeToo would be all over. You know what? I'll actually say this. I kind of agree with that. If let's say Hulk did this to a woman, I guess yeah. But we're only going based on this. Like I'm only saying my perspective, and my perspective is that wasn't rape. It's not. But Healy, you're doing exactly what the Me Too movement would have done. Is like you're doing exactly what you criticize. That's the thing that annoys me. You're pretending to care about a topic, but you're not even. You're just pretending. You're just pretending. And I know it's to make fun of me too, but at the end of the day, you're making a huge claim. I guarantee you, if this tweet was made by someone in the Me Too or a woman, and instead of she, it said he, and it said woman here, I guarantee you Healy versus Babyface would have made like 30 videos criticizing the tweet. I don't know. And Wonder Woman, I can understand. That was right there, but... And She-Hulk, it's not. And I think this is just diminishing to actual survivors of rape. This is an annoying thing. She didn't rape a dude. The entire thing was very consensual. Yeah, that is true. That was consensual. Wait, hold up. This is the tweet I was looking for. There we go. So it says here, she had sex with the guy in her She-Hulk form. In the morning, she's back to her human form. The guy asked her who she was. He was taken aback and left. Yeah, but my assumption is that he had never seen what she looked like outside of She-Hulk. This is to me kind of what... Let's say you're on a date with the girl, and when you have intercourse, she was wearing makeup, or when you're on the date, she's wearing makeup. But then in the morning, you see her without makeup, and she looks noticeably different. I think I would say that. I think that would be similar. But no, this isn't catfishing or anything, because he still got to have sex with She-Hulk. He still got to have intercourse with She-Hulk. He still got to do the things he did. Just that he was disappointed when he found out that She-Hulk would be transforming into Jennifer Walters. That's my assumption. It's not sexual assault either way. It's not rape either way. He still got to do it with the person, and he looked excited. It's like, again, y'all are doing it. I don't care what side of the political line you're at, but like, if you're going to criticize the other side for doing something, then don't do it yourself. Again, if this was made by somebody else, Healy versus Babyface would have been making 30 videos against it. This is the thing that annoys me. There's actual survivors out there who struggle with this, but you guys pretend to care about it. You know, and if you guys want something to complain about the scene in Watchmen when comedian rapes Silk Spectre, the original one. I don't know what to tell you. 699 likes. I don't know, but I see a lot of people pretending to care about this. Honestly, it's annoying. There's actual survivors out there struggling. It's not rape. It's not even debatable. I know some of y'all in the comments are probably going to come at me saying, you're woke, SJW. No, it's not that. It's not rape. It's just not. It's factually not rape. It's not. And I know I'm repeating myself, and I know I'm somebody who goes with civil conversations and always has debates. But at the end of the day, in this episode, that was not rape. And if you think it is, then you don't know what rape really is. It's the thing. And I'm not here to virtue signal. I'm not here to pretend to care about social topics. It's just that if somebody else is doing it, then I'm going to critique it, because this is actually a dangerous claim you're doing, dude. You're criticizing the Me Too movement, which the Me Too movement has had people lie about rape allegations, but you're doing exactly the same. Now, the difference is you're doing it on a fictional character who isn't going to face any repercussions. But it is a serious accusation, because you are kind of implying that Disney had a rape scene on Disney+. I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, Healy versus Babyface is a moron. I don't like talking about YouTubers, so I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of making this titled Healy versus Babyface is a moron. No, I'm just going to make this video, put it out there, see how it works. But I'm sorry, but again, there's no conversation you can have with me saying that is rape. There is no conversation. There's none. Do something actual productive in your fucking life instead, you know? But anyways, and I'm not saying that She-Hulk can't rape somebody. Women can rape men. That's happened before. Let's not sugarcoat it. But if we're talking on this specific scene, that's not what happened exactly. So just stop pretending to virtue signal. Move on. Make your shitty little YouTube videos, and then we'll all move on. All right? Thank you guys for watching. There's real survivors out there too. How about conversing with them instead of complaining about the green girl having sex with the buff man? I don't know what to tell you. And I guarantee you this is probably the same guy who probably shipped Black Widow and Hulk. I'm just kidding. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.